worrying was my actual state of being. Like I was getting cancellations.
That abundance is a mindset. As entrepreneurs, how many decisions are we making throughout the day? Every breathing second is a decision that we're making.
Yeah. Welcome back to the STFU Moment Podcast. I am your host, Kristy, and I'm here with the lovely Akansha. Say hi, Akansha.
Hey, everyone.
And this podcast is where your excuses come to die. So, today we want to talk to you about something I feel like everybody needs to hear. And that is what worrying actually does for you. What does it actually get you?
Can I just interrupt for a second? And I'm just like, I am so obsessed with the way you speak, and I'm just looking at you, like, not even like just being proud, but I'm like, oh my god, like, I love the way she speaks. And
oh my gosh, thank you. I will take that.
You should. You should. As you should. What inspires us to do these episodes and the way we choose the theme of the episode is with not just client work, but also like mostly the DMs that we get on, hey, can you do this topic? Or like, this is what I'm going through. And one of the reasons was for Kristy, worrying and finances and relationships and how they actually do take a toll on you and your business unknowingly, because you cannot separate, as easy as it is to say that, okay, you can separate your personal and your business life, but it's not, because as a CEO, as a small business, in a small business setting or a medium setting, your business as women, like, we're so emotional and so connected. It becomes such a huge part of our life. And if there's something that is not working right in our life, it does translate into our business somehow. And I want to jump into questions because that's the easiest way for us to break this thing down for people is, remember the time when you were absolutely worrying about something, okay? And it could be something so minor or it could be so major. I want to know how it affected your business. How did it change the way you were thinking, your emotions translated into it? What did it look like for you?
I think I want to start with the two big things that were my biggest worries in my business. And I sometimes falter now, but not nearly as much as I did before. And they were, am I good enough to do this? And can I financially do this? So the biggest worries were my questioning of my own abundance and my questioning of my own like enoughness. So in that, what did I see? When I worried, and I worried like to the point where the worrying was my actual state of being. Like there was no embodiment of anything else. It was just this worry of like, am I going to make it? Am I going to make rent? And what happened was I was getting cancellations. I was getting roadblocks to going to studios to work. I was getting, internet troubles, so I couldn't actually get online, or the power outages, like all these things. And yes, like these are outside of my control, but I was drawing these things to me because of the worrying. And because I was such an anxious person and I lived in that state of anxiousness and I lived in that state of worry, that's all I perpetuated all day long. From the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, if I slept okay. And it just created more things for me to worry about, because worrying in that moment didn't actually give me a solution. It didn't actually help me move forward. Worrying and thinking and fixating on it gave me this false sense of control over the situation, which led to nothing. I didn't move my business forward. I didn't put myself out there more because I was scared that I wasn't enough for people, which means when you don't put yourself out there and people don't know about you or your services, you're not making money, because who's paying you for what they don't know what you're doing. So it was this endless cycle of worry, more things to worry about. Worry, more things to worry about.
And I also feel like it emotionally shows into your confidence, like kind of goes down, and it translates into the way you take your clients, and you show up with such a worrisome attitude, so there's no confidence, there is no such thing as like, I am here to help you. Like, I know my things. Yeah. And when I don't know about you, but I am for sure, like, if I go for a service and a person is not confident in what they're doing, you feel that. You can read the room. And that I think that's what it is, that, you know, it translates into something that you're not.
Yeah, I mean, because I've talked about this a little bit, like, over the course of this year, 2026. I've had a lot of contrast, had a lot of things come into my life, grief, loss, uncertainty, lots of navigating certain things. And with that, the thing that people are like, when I tell people, even our friend Kristen, she's like, what the fuck is the universe saying? And I was really getting down on me. I was like, what is the universe? Like, what is this message? Am I not supposed to be doing because I can't focus? I can't do this or whatever. But I realized that the universe doesn't test. Like, people are always like, oh, the universe is testing you to see if you want this. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that the universe is testing you. I don't believe that the universe is putting roadblocks in your way to stop you from doing what you know in your heart is your sole purpose. I believe wholeheartedly in manifestation, law of attraction, and you receive who you are, not what you want.
Yes, absolutely.
So in those moments of worry, and I'm in a state of worry, I'm in a state of anxiousness, I'm creating, the universe isn't like, oh, she doesn't want to be anxious anymore. No, she's attracting, her magnet is saying, I want more things to be worried about. I want more things to be anxious about. And that was the cycle that I was in.
Oh, and it's such a hard cycle to break out of, because it's such a bad loop.
Yeah. And I want to say that it's hard, but it really, I think we need to give power back to decision. Every day is a choice, and you may not have a choice in, you know, the circumstances that you're in at that moment, but you certainly have a choice on how you think, how you feel every day, how you look at life. And I'm not saying go and put, you know, you're in a horrible situation and, you know, you're there and you're like, everything's great. And there's a fire in your backyard. But what I'm saying is look to the things that are good. Look to your breath. Look to, you know, I have a glass of water. I have a roof over my head. Anything, right? Just to shift the perspective so that you can start to rewire your brain to see that from worry over to the goodness that's in your life. Because I promise you, there is something.
Well, it goes back to that thing too, right? That abundance is a mindset.
It really is.
And I think going back to this confident topic, I remember when I first started doing consultations for the root assessment that I offer at the clinic, I was such a I didn't have that much confidence to be like, to tell you like, this is what's wrong with you and this is what I see, to now when I did my last consultation, that was yesterday in person, within seconds she walked in, I was observing. She sat down, I did everything that I had to. I already knew what was going on with her, and I was confident enough to tell her, because that is the confidence that I built.
Yeah.
It's not something that books taught me. It's like, okay, I know my things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hide behind a screen. It's not that I don't know it. Why do I keep on telling myself that? Because a lot of times we go back into that whole thing, right? You don't need, like one of the first 2 episodes we did, you don't need another certificate to be confident.
No.
You don't need to do another course. You don't need to do this. It grows with you, within you. It's a practice. It's a mindset shift. It definitely is. Every day, as you said, is a decision. As entrepreneurs, how many decisions are we making throughout the day? Every breathing second is a decision that we're making. This email needs to go out. Like today, I was late for the podcast. You know, while I was setting up and everything, Kristy was sending emails to our guests. And that's a decision that you made in that moment. Like, I have 5 minutes. I'm going to send this email and it's done. So I don't have to worry about it throughout the day. And that's like so many other decisions that we're going to make today. Like, okay, what is the change in my website going to be? What is my next course going to be? What am I doing tomorrow with my client? And all of those things. Like, so being confident and at an early stage when you are not that confident, communicate it with your client. Like, hey, I'm new at this. And they will understand. People are very understanding. I don't like when people say that others don't understand me, or we've lived in a very like messed up world where people are so quick and entitled. No, because exactly, speak, communicate. Communication is so important. And once you communicate, the other person feels at ease too. Like, oh, okay, I get it. But I'm here. Like, let's work on it. And if I have questions, I'll ask you. And similarly, as a service provider, if you have a question, you ask them. And that's how you build that confidence. It's not an overnight shift. It's not even manifestation, as we talked about. It's not like one day we're like, oh, we're millionaires, and next day we wake up with $10 million in our account. Yeah. You still have to put in the action.
Yeah. And I think going back to, you walking into a client and deciding that you're going to be confident and you're going to be, it takes a level of self-trust.
Yes.
But if you were to go the other way, so say if you were worrying about messing up or saying the wrong thing, or, not being, messing, like whatever the story is, have you ever gone and you're like, maybe like given a speech or something and you're like, oh, like I'm going to mess it up.
Oh, yeah.
And then you mess it up.
I have such an embarrassing story.
That's the way it is. When you fixate on messing it up, or you're worrying about not being confident enough, or you're worrying about what the finances, the relationship, when you fixate on that, you're replaying. It's like a movie on the mind. You're replaying that over and over again, and you're perpetuating that out. So your magnet, your beacon, is slowly radiating these waves out to tell the universe, to tell other people, other circumstances, that you are available to things to be worried about your confidence, to be worried about this. And then your experience, your lived experience moving forward is going to be, you're going to be worried because this is going to happen. And it does.
Absolutely. I agree with you 10,000%.
So, Akansha, maybe you can go into a little bit. We talk about the nervous system a lot. What happens to the body? We talk about it being a magnet, but internally, what are our thoughts actually doing to the nervous system?
So I want to answer this without sounding too scientific.
No, go into science. People love that.
So according to in Ayurveda, we have 3 constitutions in our body. And when you're conceived, that's like the constitution of the body, depending on the mood of your parents, the season it is, and all of those things, and the constitution of your parents. So you are a byproduct of the environment itself. Okay. And one of the constitution is known as Vata dosha, which is air. It's mobility. It's correlated to God because without it, nothing moves in the body. But it's also very dry and it's rough. And its seats, it's like upward, downward, any motion, movement in the body. It is mostly situated in our large intestine, but it's also the dosha where if it's aggravated, it will give you anxiety, insomnia, feeling that I don't belong here, that overthinking, and all of those things are governed by when the vitiation of the air quality or Vata dosha happens in the body. So there are 2 things that are happening simultaneously that I'm going to touch upon. So when you're worrying, your body is getting rough, dry. There's more space that is being created in the body. And you're thinking, worrisome, and you're having that sleepless nights where, that question of why me is also there, right? Why is this happening to me? So your nervous system is gone down the roof. It's totally in shambles because there's no regulation happening. And that's why in modern science, they're like your cortisol spikes. And, you're waking up at 3 a.m. not knowing what's happening. Your blood pressure is rising up. You are not able to make sense of things because obviously your body hasn't had the rest that it needs. through insomnia, right? There is depletion in the tissue level happening because now we're going into the food that you're eating, the nutrients are not going into the tissues. So here, the digestion system, because again, Vata is the main seat of Vata is in your intestines. So that nutritional absorption is not happening, which is there's 7 tissues in the body. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm not going to go in details with it because it'll be too long. It'll be a 5-hour long episode. But so one tissue, whatever it digests, the byproduct goes to the second tissue. So and so to the 7th tissue, and the 7th tissue's byproduct that's left is our immunity, the vitality of the body, the essence of vitality. But it's Majadhatu, which is the 4th tissue, it could just stop there and it could block. And again, now your nervous tissue is being impacted. So from your digestion, your nervous system is being impacted, and there is more roughness in the body. And that's when the time you'll feel like, oh, I'm feeling pain in my body. I don't know why my lower back hurts. I have so much migraine. Not that migraine doesn't happen otherwise too, but like headaches, jaw tension, clenching, cracking of the joints, all of these things are happening because your body is extremely rough and it's dry. There is mental depletion plus the tissue depletion that is happening. So what do? We turn towards therapies that ground you. We turn towards meditation because it gives you in a Zen zone, changing the perspective. And that's what I teach my clients, that, hey, like Shirodhara, best treatment for insomnia. Foot massage, best treatment for insomnia. And bringing in that oil in your body. Have ghee. Ghee is such a nourishing product out in the market. And if you're a vegan, obviously do not. But if you're not vegan, ghee is this beautiful clarified butter. That's what it is. Okay, the shelf life, it can go for thousands of years. And the older the ghee is, the more medicinal it is. And ghee is one thing that helps balance all the 3 constitutions of the body. It's not aggravating it, it is balancing it. But again, we have to be careful of the amount that we're eating it. Everything done in the right amount will give you better results. And that's the beauty. So like in Ayurveda, they say yatha pinde tatha brahmande, tatha brahmande yatha pinde, which means the micros is as similar to the macros, you know, and whatever is outside is inside, and whatever is inside is outside. So the beauty of any holistic alternative medicine is it's not just your physical body. We're fixing you on a mental, emotional, spiritual, and a physical way. Because think about it, if you're not mentally healthy, you're not physically healthy.
Yeah, and that's what we're worrying. When you stay in that worry state, these are the things that you start to see.
Exactly. Like it's going to impact you, right? If you're worrying too much. I don't know about you, Kristy, but when I go into my overthinking mode, I cannot sleep. I'll probably sleep an hour or 2 max in my days. And so as is, like, you already know my sleeping schedule, I sleep max 6 hours a day. Because that's a sleep that only my body requires only 6 hours of sleep. Right? Each is different. But then when I'm only sleeping an hour to 2, that is impacting me on every level, because now I don't have the ability to work, ability to focus. I'm agitated. It's pouring into my work. I don't have that thankfulness, that gratitude that I have. And with that attitude, I cannot serve someone.
No.
Right? Because my intentions could be the purest of serving people, but because of all the emotions and everything, I'm using my hands. It's going into someone else. So how important is it to come into this peaceful environment and asking yourself the right question? Okay, what is it actually that I'm worried about?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I tell my clients to, like, meditate. Ask yourself those important questions, because you can lie to me.
Yeah.
You can come for a therapy with me, and you can pretend that it's working when, or it will work and it will give you some benefits. But the 70% of the work is you.
Yeah.
you have to sit with yourself. You cannot lie to yourself, and that's what it is. Like, everything impacts your gut.
Yeah.
And your gut is the seed for a healthy life.
That is so beautiful, and it's so true. Like, when you talk about, you said that the first thing to go when you're anxious or when you're worrying is your sleep. For me, it's every other function, like eating, drinking. Like, I literally forget to take care of myself. And then I go and when I don't eat and I'm not nourished, it leads to the anxiety more.
Well, your tissues and your brain is 70% water. Your body is 70% water.
Yeah. So I'm like literally not only depleting myself mentally, but then when I'm in this spiral, like I haven't been in that deep of a spiral in a very long time. It's been quite a few years, but I remember I would literally pace. I'd pace my house. I would just replay scenarios, true or not true, over and over again, fixated on trying to control this thing, but not taking action. I would skip meals. I wouldn't drink. I wouldn't, like, and when you don't drink, like, I didn't go to the bathroom. So I was literally going into this spiral and allowing depletion of the entire system.
Oh, 100%. And think about it. Some people go through that. TMI, I have really bad diarrhea or like really bad stomach when I'm worrying too much. And top of it, when some people smoke, some people drink, and you're adding those thinking that it's going to help you, but it's not.
And I think that's the really important thing here is when you are worrying, when you are looking for something to make yourself feel better, I invite you to stop looking outward. Don't reach out to a friend. You can, but do this first. Don't reach out to a friend. Ask yourself, have I made it through every single day so far? That's what I said to my client who is stressing about finances. And I was like, you have figured it out every single day, every single month. You are not a person who's just going to let it fall apart. You're not going to lose your home. You're not going to allow these things to happen. You take your own power back. Get yourself centered. And then if you still feel like you need an outlet, you need to vent. If crying isn't going to give that release to you, then reach out to a friend, but do it as a clear. Don't ask them to go into input. Don't ask them to go into a gossip sesh. Just allow yourself to get rid of it. Right? Because when we search outside of ourselves for the solution, if we search outside of ourselves for the validation that we're going to be okay, you're not going to find it. And if you do, it's going to be fleeting.
Ouch. That's so true, though.
And I think with worrying, I think worrying has been such a gift to me because
it is like the silver lining, right? You always have to see the silver lining. It's a blessing in disguise.
It is. And because this is what it taught me. It taught me that I do have choices. I do have that power to choose something else. I think it's Gabby Bernstein, actually. She talks about choosing again. So you can either choose the worry again. You can choose to fixate on how you don't have money. How you don't have the relationship that you want, how you don't have the home or the car or whatever it is. Or you could turn and be like, I have all of this. I have a beautiful life. I have sunshine. I have fresh sheets, whatever it is, the little things. And then use that to fuel you and be like, I'm getting this. Like, this is already mine. And let that path unfold.
And the beautiful thing that I want to share with the same thing that you said is how blessed are we to be worried about the things that we're so passionate about, overworked from our own passion. Like, if our younger self were to see us doing this, they will be so proud of us. Like, I get to create every day. I get to serve every day. And you get to mentor, teach yoga. Weren't you just saying like you're going to be teaching yoga on a dock on a Friday?
Dock beach.
And that yes, it is exhausting. I'm not taking that exhaustion away. But how lucky and blessed are we to be exhausted by our own passion? People don't get to choose this.
Yeah.
And it's a choice that we made. That we had the choice of going to a corporate, 9 to 5, regular job, or choosing our passion. We chose our passion. We chose to work with what our purpose is. And worrying, overthinking, all of this is a part of this huge stimulation that is created by you. So what is it that you're actually worried about? Change the narrative. As you said, be grateful for the sunshine, clean sheets, a laptop that is working, a phone that is working. Most importantly, your brain that creates.
As somebody who's buggered her knee, I will never take my body for granted again. The fact that I can't practice my passion, my yoga, and yoga, like the asana, I live a very yogic lifestyle. So the asana is just one part of it. I miss it. But I am so grateful that when this knee gets better, I will love up on my body. I'm loving up on my body now because it needs it. But it's having this body and the things that it can do with an injury, without an injury. I think we forget how much of a blessing this vessel is. And when we worry, like I could be sitting here and I could be like, I'm so frustrated with my knee. And I have those moments, yes. But I also know that, I've had a lot going on and the universe is making me pause. It's making me contemplate. It's making me reflect. But I could go into the worry side of it. I could be like, oh, like if this doesn't get better, like what am I going to do? Like half of my livelihood depends on me and my movement. But I know as a practitioner that I can do other forms of yoga, just not this one. But it's that one that I was fixating on because I was like, I love a vinyasa flow. I love the deep lunging. I love the deep, the warriors, like the bending of the knees. Like you take your joints for granted.
You do.
And I could be like, well, this sucks. I'm out of commission. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I was for a little bit, but then I had to make a choice. I had to make the decision to be like, well, I can still do a yin practice. I can still do a restorative. I can still do gentle flow. Like I can still do things but I could have done the opposite. I could have turned to the shadows and, woe is me and this sucks and my life sucks and my knee sucks. But I had to actively make a decision that no, I'm going to turn towards the sun. I'm going to look towards the light. I'm going to remember my own freaking light and I'm going to do what I need to do to take care of myself.
Isn't that the beautiful part, right, of our brain too? We get to do these things. Like we are our own savior and our own worry creator at the end of the day. Like we can worry about 10,000 different things and it's such a dangerous loop and a cycle to get into because it's never ending. But when you come into that power of a solution chaser and not a worry creator, and you're very solution oriented, everything falls into place. And I love how you said the universe doesn't test you. There's 7 million people. Universe doesn't have the time to test everyone. No, like I don't think so. I think there's no coincidence in your life. Everything is meant to happen for a reason. And if you are in that time where, you are stuck in that worrying mindset, ask yourself the why. Find people that really help you. Find a therapist, find a mentor, find a flow that works for you. Sometimes people say yoga helps them shed so much worry. And I just want to say, like, when I used to be an overthinker, not that I'm not, I have moments where I will overthink, like I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. But when I was worrying and I was holding on to things too much, there was this heaviness inside of my body, like my shoulders and everything. I would always be like slugging and like dying in that energy. And then once I stopped with whatever that situation was, and when I took myself out of it, Kristy, I genuinely started feeling 50 pounds lighter. my confidence boomed. My personality was like, yes, I got this. What do you mean I'm not gonna? Like, done.
Yeah.
Have it. Watch me do it. Not from ego, but from the passion that I have. My stomach is improving. I know what works for me, what doesn't work for me anymore. Working with your system, not against it, but with it. What is it? Your cortisol's high? Okay, let's talk about it. What's happening? What are you worried about? Have you heard about shadow journaling? Shadow work? Have you heard about meditation? Have you heard about oiling your feet? Have you, as simple as talking to a person that really loves you? And that's what it is. Like, even if you are in a relationship, I always say, like, your partner is your peace. Just being with them changes, and it should change. And if it's not, I would do my shadow work again. Like, what is it that is blocking it? Because everything at the end of the day affects your business, because your body is so deeply affected.
Yeah. I always say, as you rise in business, you also have to rise personally. There might be a little bit of fluctuation, but your business can't be down here and you up here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or you can't be down here and your business up here. You have to have that kind of synchronicity between them. And it's so funny. I was actually saying to my partner, I was like, before I freak out about this, I'm going to go shift the energy. Because it's stuck right here, and like I'm very aware of like where it gets stuck in the body, right? So I'm like, am I gonna let this fester and grow and kind of infect the rest of the body, or am I gonna go shift? So I'm gonna go do the walk. I'm gonna go do the gentle movement. I'm gonna shift it first, and then I'm gonna come back and ask myself, what is it actually about? And then I'll go and do, like you said, all the things, like call a friend, go and be sit with your partner, like just go and just be, right? Because it always, especially the initial shock of something, when something comes your way, like when you're looking at your bank account and rent's due in 3 days and you're like, I don't have the money. So that shock, that initial shock, if you can temper it, if you can cut it off so that it's not going from like 0 to 60, then that I think is going to give you a lead in your energy and where you're going. And that gives you helps you change it from the worry.
Absolutely. And I also think, like, say for example, a rent, for example, right? What are the steps that we're taking throughout the month? Right? If you are someone who is very emotional, not that it's a bad thing, or you're someone who has a tendency of worry about things so much, what are the actual steps that we're taking? What is the plan? Why are we not sitting with it? Worry is great in the moment, but it's not the solution.
Yeah, don't stay there.
Don't stay there. What is the movement that is happening? Okay, somehow you created that $7,000 rent, for example, which is for a shop or something, whatever it is, right? You were short some money and then you figured it out. But moving on, what are your steps? What are you doing? How are you bringing in the client?
Yeah.
Because when you worry about business and the finances, your personal life also goes into shambles. And then you're projecting that worries into your business, but there's no plan that is happening.
Yeah.
What is the solution? How are you being visible? What are you doing? Like Kristy challenged me and herself 2 weeks ago when we were talking about visibility. She's like, we're posting every day on our personal accounts, and we've been doing it. We've been doing it 7 seconds. I don't have to overthink about it.
No.
We're just doing something because it's about the actions that we take and the intentions that we're putting onto. Like, you and I can worry about, oh my God, we have no visibility, but what are the steps?
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate, worrying isn't a plan.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. I'm not going to say it's a waste of time. It's not. Do what you want to do.
Feel what you need to feel.
In the moment.
But move on. Get going. Get the gears going. Look to the solutions. Be open to creative solutions if you can't see it right away. And you will find, I'm going to say probably 10 out of 10 times, not even 9 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times, if you can move from that state of worry into that state of creative solutions, you will find those solutions. They will come in funny ways. You're going to laugh about them. They're going to come in ways you're like, oh, I didn't even think about that, but that was so freaking simple. And you're going to start to train the body to, okay, when things happen, I'm going to be that CEO. I'm going to make that shift. I'm going to make that decision in that moment.
But it's also like I already am a CEO, and also like I want to talk about this. And that's when having a mentor is also important, a coach that you can rely on, to that you can call to. How lucky are your clients they got to call you when they were in that worrisome situation and they were able to use you to pour into it and someone to put a sense back into it, into them. Right. Okay, what is the actual reason that we're worrying? Because as a third person, you see things more clearly. Than someone
who's
stuck.
I can take you out of that box you put yourself in. When you're just bumping into that wall, I can be there and be like, I'm gonna pull you out, and then I'm gonna let you see what's actually going on.
Absolutely. And you have some great courses that are coming up too, right? The 6 and the 8 weeks. That I think are such amazing platforms that you're building, because people need those mentors. Like, we think that we don't have the money right now to invest into it. We'll do it later, but that later never comes. Sometimes you have to invest into yourself, because when you pour into your own cup, that's how your business prospers, because we're stuck in that mental state. It's not spending money, it is investing and reinvesting in yourself. And that's what I say about the therapist, psychologist, anything that is helping you fill your cup, that's an investment. I'm sure people who come to you for mentorship, you can use that and put it as a business expense, because it is business work. It is so much things that you're doing. So I think people lack where they're like, okay, we're not comfortable investing into ourselves. And I get it. Like, for a couple of months or years, it's really hard to pour that money out. But have a plan. That's like, worrying hasn't gotten anyone anywhere, but probably to the mental asylum, or the lowest of low. Constantly feeling like you're stuck, not being able to have friends and outlet to pour into. But there is so much light outside. There's so much help. All you have to do is ask. And the help is here. And the episode. So thank you for staying till the end. And I hope this episode resonated with you and gave you an insight on what we do and how we deal with our challenges, because we're not perfect. We're not ahead of you. We're not behind you. We're in this journey, walking hand in hand with you.